Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Payson. Welcome back to everyone who's already a subscriber to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe so you can see more great interviews, including the one coming at you right now. From time to time, I am blown away by some of the amateur talent out there. And tonight we have a special guest coming on with a perfect 7-0 record in the featherweight category. This fighter is ranked number 1 out of 74 active featherweights in the state of Indiana. Number 1 out of 597 active Midwest in the United States. And number 3 out of 2,591 fighters in the entire United States of America and Canada. The highly ranked, highly skilled, undefeated fighter, Gabe, you're it. Oh, I messed up the intro. I'm going to do it one more time. Gabe, tag, you're it. I was so excited about your name. One of the best nicknames out there. Gabe, tag, you're it. Welcome to the show, sir.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's always an honor to have a new fighter on. You've got a big fight coming up against a fellow undefeated. He is 4-0. You're 7-0 for 247 fighting championships. Brawl in the Burgh, 21.5, which is June 29th. It's the noon. They're having a doubleheader show. You are the noon card. Before we get into that matchup, since I've never heard about you before because you're in the Midwest, and I apologize about that, let's start off. Before you were in MMA, being ranked by Tapology super high, what sports did you do growing up? And then how did you transition into training MMA?
Oh, man, I played just about every sport. High school, I had to pick 3, obviously, and it was football, baseball, and basketball. Football was definitely the one that I enjoyed the most. But, yeah, I had some offers to play college ball at some places. I ended up not going and started working. And hated it. I needed something to scratch that itch. And then I walked into a gym in Indianapolis, American Top Team, and kind of fell in love with the sport.
Wow. Well, now at 23 years of age, obviously things have been going really well for you in your career. Where do you currently train out of?
I train at Gaha BJJ in MMA in Kokomo, Indiana. But yeah, we got a lot of up and coming people there, a lot of talent. Some really good grapplers. We got some special stuff here.
Well, that is really great. You have had not only a perfect amateur career, but mixed in there, you've had multiple submission wins. In fact, you're currently, it looks like you're on a 3-fight submission win. You've had all wins by stoppage except one. And so in there are a couple KO strike stoppages and a bunch of submissions. Given the fact that you train out of a jiu-jitsu gym by name, is that what you would consider your strong suit?
No, I would definitely say I'm a striker. I like to stand and bang, but it's hard not to train a lot of grappling when I got a lot of grapplers around me. So having those guys to help level up me in that other areas, it's showing obviously in my fights.
Well, let's ask about your transition. You walked into a gym, America Top Team, back when you first started training. What was it like? You're obviously an athletic stud, but you doesn't appear that you had a wrestling background in the sense that, you know, football, baseball, basketball. How was it learning the wrestling, grappling side of things?
Dude, I was lost. I didn't know anybody. I was a quiet person. I didn't talk to a lot of people. I think I was there in Indy for like 4 or 5 months before moving back to Kokomo, but it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to learn. It was a foreign language to me when I first started.
Yeah. Obviously, you've adjusted to it. I think there's some advantages. Obviously, wrestlers have an incredible base. There's some advantages to a non-wrestler background person learning MMA because there are some habits that wrestlers sometimes have where, you know, they're not comfortable in certain positions because of wrestling. They might dive in with their head low and get caught in guillotines. Obviously, you can learn the best of everything. Do you feel like there's pressure to stay undefeated? As an amateur, the best mindset is to, get experience, obviously, and continue to develop your skill set. Given the fact of your undefeated streak, do you see this fight as an opportunity to stay undefeated against undefeated opponent? Did the pressure to stay undefeated start after 3 or 4 wins? Or talk a little bit about that streak.
The streak doesn't really change anything in my eyes. Like, obviously, we don't want to go in there and lose. My goal is to go in there and win. But as an amateur, I just want tough fights, and I think this is a great one to cap off my amateur career. But I don't feel pressure to stay undefeated. I just I love fighting. I want tough fights. I want to grow. I want to continue to get better. I think this is one of the toughest guys we could find. I mean, I was looking for a fight here, couldn't find anything. And if going to Pennsylvania is what it takes, that's what it is. I'm excited. But yeah, I want the tough fights, man.
Well, that is an incredible attitude. This is sort of unnecessary history for you because you don't get to 247 much, but 247 has just celebrated 5 years of existence. And in that 5 years, there was one fight similar to this between amateurs a couple years ago between 6-0 highly ranked Hunter Starner and 6-0 highly ranked at the time the defending amateur champ for 247, Cam the Mallrat Agar. And I really think that they were both incredible fighters to take that fight where they both could have gone pro without that fight. And we're in a similar situation between a 4-0 and a 7-0. Why take this fight before you go pro? It sounds like this is your last fight before you go pro. You wanted a test. What about, we're going to start talking about Noah. What about Noah? Do you know, or is it just a matter of kind of iron out a little bit more in your game plan before you go?
I don't know a whole lot about him. Once I got the message, I said yes. I didn't really look into it a whole lot, but I mean, obviously now I know he comes from a grappling heavy gym, I believe. I think he's gonna want to wrestle. I don't want to wrestle. I want to go in there and throw some hands. So, yeah.
Very nice. I think it's great that you're coming in from Indiana over here. Obviously, Pittsburgh is great. I hope you really like your trip in. With you and your coaches at, I think you said Baja, BJJ. Is it written in stone that you're going pro after this? I know sometimes it's fight by fight and sometimes it's kind of already decided. I just wanted to have that conversation about what your plan is pro-wise.
In my mind, it's written in stone. I think this is gonna be the last amateur fight. Yeah. So yeah. I'm thinking September of making my pro debut.
Fantastic. I hope to continue to be able to follow your career. I know you probably won't get to Pittsburgh much. Who knows? Sometimes things work out, but doing this based out of the Pittsburgh area, I do like to follow fighters. I had mentioned Hunter Starner. He's now doing great as a pro, and he only fought for 247 once, but I was able to continue to follow him. So hopefully, I can do that with you. I'd like to follow more people in the Midwest. For you, you mentioned before we talk about predictions and some of the fight specific stuff, you had mentioned coming right out of high school, not going to college, going right into the workforce and hating it. Are you working currently? And if so, how do you balance it? And if you're not working currently, how are you making it work as you train?
Yeah, man, it's tough. I'm in school full time. I work a little bit and I'm training, so I'm doing a lot, but fighting is definitely my number one priority. I got a lot of people around me that support me and love me and that help me make this possible. But yeah, I mean it's a grind, man, but I love it. Fighting is the number one priority. So as long as I can get to the gym and train, I don't really care about a whole lot of other things. Obviously I gotta make some money, but as long as I can train, I'm happy, man.
Well, that's a great attitude. Where are you going to school, college-wise, and what are you working on?
Yeah, so I'm going to IUK here in Kokomo. Working on an exercise science degree. I got about 2 semesters left. And then I help my brother at a place called BW Fusion in Climbers, Indiana. I work a little part-time there. So
Climbers, Indiana. It's like a climbing wall gym.
no. The place I work, it's they do a lot of stuff for like farmers. We send out fertilizer and stuff. My brother is a manager there, so I go get part-time work there when I can.
Oh, that's cool. Somehow I heard climbers and I thought you were working a climbing wall. Sorry. Very
No,
cool
you're
that you
good.
get to very cool that you get to work with your brother. Shout out, like you said, to all the supporters who love you, know that this is your profession, this is what you want to do. I've asked that question for a lot of people, and some are in the trade, some have specific jobs they can pick up and drop depending on when they're in fight camp and things like that. Um, Talking about this fight, do you have a mindset about predictions? Are you the Mystic Mac type where you like to make predictions, or are you more about sort of the Bruce Lee, be like water and kind of flow where the fight goes? You tell me, what are your thoughts as far as prediction goes?
All I can say is I know I'm fighting and looking for a finish the whole time. I'm going there to finish fights. That's what I like to do. I know other people like that. Like I'm not in there trying to grind out a decision win. I'm in there to finish the fight, no matter where that goes. I mean, I feel comfortable everywhere. Obviously, I want to keep it on the feet. I want to those big knockouts. Those are my favorite. I like to let my hands fly, but expect to finish.
Makes perfect sense. I love it. Expect to finish. Um, Cowboy Cerrone, I know he's now retired, but had a lot of submission wins. And one time somebody asked him, "What's your favorite type of takedown?" And he said a knockdown. And in your fights, because you're getting these submissions, is that's kind of what's happening, where you're looking for the knockdown, you're looking for the knockout, they end up on the ground by strikes, and then you get the submission. Are you kind of Cerrone-esque in that sense?
That's happened a few times, but I've been developing my game everywhere. Like my last fight, I shot a takedown in the first round, took the dude down and choked him. So I mean, I say I'm always looking for the finish, but I'm also looking for affordances. If you're gonna give me a takedown, I'm gonna take it, and then I'm gonna beat you up on the ground. But I'm always looking for affordances, and when I attack, it's violent, and it's gonna be relentless and violent the whole time.
Well, I bet it will be. This is uh, probably the top amateur face-off in the country, really, with you being so highly ranked, and also Noah being up there as well. This is super special. I like to call these type of fights when I do announcing and stuff. These are like pro-ready fights. I mean, these are basic. This is basically at the pro debut level. There won't be some of the pro moves and some of the pro rule set. But I'm super excited. Best wishes to you and your team for making the trip in. Can't wait to see it. This is the time to plug the fact that if anybody's making the trip, they can buy tickets that will support you as well. Put your name in and go to 247fighting.com if anybody is making the trip in. They need to make sure that they pick the card that have you on it, because there's two cards. But I would assume most of your Indiana contingent will be watching by pay-per-view. So now is the time to download the app. 247 Fighting Championship as a regional promotion is incredible in the sense that they have their own app. So download 247 Live. There's free content, a podcast, some things like that people can check out. But they will then also be able to have the opportunity to get the pay-per-view. So hopefully there'll be some people getting the pay-per-view to support you as well as, watch the fight. So really appreciate you coming on. It's been incredible. I hope to follow you throughout your career going forward. So I really appreciate you coming on, taking time. Best skills to you. You've been listening to Luke Basin with MMA Fancast and Gabe Tag Eurit. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, brother.
You got it, brother. Take care. June 29th, Monroeville Convention Center, 247 Fighting Championships, Brawl in the Burgh, 21 and a half.